You actually shot this, didn't you?
Yeah, so we hit this with just 193 at 25 yards, and we put the plate back in a box and put it up against a 2x4 and put one shot in the middle here, and we wanted to see how much fragment basically come off and went into the box, like as opposed to going into your chin, and we had 0.
This is kind of a minimalist setup. It's actually just got what you need to survive.
Blade slide out, really simple. Big little crack there, but as you can see, it cracks up.
Taking it right in the chest.
If I'm correct, I think that's rated up to 308.
This is a good way to start, for sure. It's affordable enough so we can actually do that. And it offers protection to your vitals, if you wear it properly, that will actually save your life.
Howdy guys, Rex here. Today we're going to talk about personal armor systems for the working man. Now there's a lot of different options available commercially. Some of the stuff that is available commercially is old stuff, that's the old mil-spec stuff that's been rendered obsolete due to new contracts and new things that are coming out as the technology advances. There's all kinds of different materials, all different kinds of levels of protection, different varying levels of comfort and features that are available in these different systems. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to wear not a whole lot of the stuff on the commercial side, but on the government side, I've worn a little bit of the old stuff. Some of you guys might remember the old PASGTs, the Personal Armor System for Ground Troops. That's what you might know as the flak jackets. That's kind of where I started off. They're not really rifle proof, if you will. I would say that at the best, maybe you could call it a level 2 or 2A level protection that'll stop most of your pistol rounds, maybe a 357 Magnum with 125 grain hollow points. But it wasn't really designed for those type applications. It was really kind of designed to shield you from things like flak, fragmentation. You know, most of your casualties in a war are delivered through the king of battle, which be high explosive ordnance, artillery, bombs from planes, stuff like that. And so a very small amount of the casualties in battle are actually from small arms. And that being the case, the flak jacket for many years is kind of what the service has used. This style flak jacket really started back in Vietnam, but if you look at in the late 70s and the early 80s, they started implementing an updated system that uses more high-tech materials like Kevlar and some upgrades like that. And the PASGT was a system that was later complemented by its own helmet. And you can see here's an old one in the old M81 camouflage pattern, the woodland camo pattern. These weigh right around 9 pounds, and you can find these commercially on the market for pretty cheap. You go to Army Surplus store, look online, you can probably find them for pretty cheap. This is a system that first utilized Kevlar for the United States military's body armor. Unlike the ballistic nylon that was used before it, the ballistic fill, if I remember correctly, consists of about 13 plies of 14-ounce water-repellent treated aramid Kevlar 29, I believe, fabric. The inner and outer cover, and then the shoulder pads in the front closure flap are water-treated 8-ounce ballistic nylon cloth. It certainly is a lot better than having nothing, but it's not going to offer you any serious degree of protection, and particularly from rifle fire. Nowadays, it's been pretty much completely phased out of service, unless you're looking at some of the reserve units, and some of the Navy units still use these flak jackets. But you won't see this on the battlefield anymore today. Thus, they are very, very available commercially for guys that are looking for that light level of protection for a super affordable cost. And if we look over here, we'll take a look at the IBA, the Interceptor Multi-Threat Body Armor System. It's a bullet-resistant vest that's used by the United States Armed Forces. It really came out in the late 90s, I think around like maybe 98, and into the late 2000s. This is what replaced that old standard fragmentation protective system, the PASGT. and it's a lot more effective than the prior system. The core component here is the outer tactical vest, or OTV, which is optimally worn with the throat protector you see here. It also had a groin protector, which I seem to have lost, and also bicep and deltoid protectors. The latter 3 auxiliary protectors are removable from the vest, which can be worn alone, as you see configured here. So along with the outer tactical vest, you're going to have 2 small arms protective inserts, or SAPI ballistic plates. And the OTV features a carrier shell, 3 main ballistic panel inserts, left and right side panels, and a rear back panel, which are made of a finely woven Kevlar KM2 fiber. These 2 parts of the vest are both bullet and heat resistant. The soft ballistic panels are produced for 5 different sizes, from small to extra large, which are installed into their respective pockets on that OTV carrier shell. As you see here, the Interceptor armor also has the PALS webbing grid on the front of it, which is going to accommodate the same types of pockets used in the modular lightweight load carrying equipment. This is a nice feature because it allows you to custom tailor fit all your different MOLLE body armor system with different pouches and configurations of stuff that you want to put on there. And although it's not really designed for it, it does have loops that you can also attach the all-purpose lightweight individual carrying equipment, or Alice pack, and you can also use whatever kind of other tactical gear that you can find on the civilian market, whatever you want to snap into here. Pretty modular system. The vest itself weighs about 8.4 pounds, and the 2 plate inserts weigh 4 pounds each. So it's a bit heavier than the old PASGT, but it does offer a significant increase in protection. The vest itself was tested to stop 9x19 124 grain full metal jacket rounds, going 1,400 feet a second with minimal back face deformation. And it has a V50 of roughly 1,500 feet per second, which basically means that if you have a bullet going about 1,525 feet a second, you're going to have that 50% chance of going through it or not. So it'll stop 50% of those. Now, the vest itself without the plates can't really be called a level 3A vest, since the military standards are kind of different and don't offer the protection against heavy 44 Magnum ammunition, stuff like that. But the vest is going to stop them lower velocity fragments for sure, and also has the removable neck, throat, shoulder, extended back pieces, giving you that protection. Additionally, when you put in the plates, where the plates are located, you're going to have a huge amount more protection. SAPI plates are available for up to 7.62 by 51 M80 ball, or if you look at the eSAPI, you can get up to 30-06 M2 AP rounds, where it's going to protect you from that. The performance is only guaranteed when backed by the Interceptor vest, or any of the other soft armor which meets those same military requirements for protection. But the SAPI and the eSAPI plates are the most technically advanced body armor fielded by U.S. military up until recent times. There's some new stuff coming out on the market that we're excited to talk about here pretty soon on the reviews that uses boron carbide ceramics with the Spectra shield backing, and it breaks down projectiles very effectively. And there's a lot of different things that are continuously being developed in that realm. If you look at the original cost on this system, it was actually pretty expensive, around $1,500, and you might still see these fielded once in a while nowadays, although they have advanced well beyond this. You're going to see this being fielded all over the Middle East, Bosnia, Lebanon, Moldova, Pakistan, Philippines, Iraq, Georgia, Ukraine, Turkey, etc., United States. And so there's a lot of countries that are using this system. Both those options you can find commercially available now. If you look, there's some secondhand surplus type options. There's government overruns that were produced where you can actually find this for not a bad deal. They're very cost-effective ways of going. However, neither of these were really considered for use on the civilian market, where you want something more concealable or something that's coming from a minimalist perspective, something that's lightweight, out of the way, doesn't break the bank, and offers that heavy-duty protection that you might need in case of an emergency. So as used as kind of a life vest, if you will, as an emergency backup scenario, there's a lot of other options on the market available that'll be even cheaper than this and offer a really, really good amount of protection. One of the options that I just picked up was the RTS Tactical Plate Carrier, and it's a very minimalist design that I think is a great option for folks that are looking for something that's highly effective yet really, really affordable. Like for $150, maybe a little bit more than that, you can get totally set up with the carrier and plates and you can have really serious protection, even from rifle fire. As you see here, the RTS tactical plates that we've tested actually are AR500 steel plates, and they're coated with a pretty thick coating. We did do some testing with some M193 ball, and as you can see, even in the brittle environment of extreme cold weather in the wintertime, where the plastic coating is becoming more brittle, it still offered a pretty good amount of protection. One of the complaints or anxieties related to AR500 steel plating is the idea that these bullets, when they hit, are going to splash off that steel, and just like they do on steel targets, you have a very, very hardened piece of AR500 high carbon steel, which is tempered to that martensitic and bayonetic composure like we showed you in a prior video. Very, very, very hard. Even at point blank range with hard ammo, it's going to pretty much, you can hammer away all day at a piece of steel like this, and it's not going to get through. Now, what you are going to have is some peripheral splash of those bullet fragments off that plate. The idea is that this plastic is going to offer you some degree of protection against that splash. It'll absorb a lot of that. What we did here is we did a test of the 5.56 millimeter. It was set up in a cardboard box to detect if there's any fragmentation that's going to come off the target in a 360-degree fashion in any direction that's going to penetrate the paper on that cardboard. And as we observed here, you can see that it was quite effectively mitigated. That plastic did its job quite well, even in the brittle environment, and there was not really any discernible damage to the paper around the periphery of that steel plate. And so that was a good way to check. You can tell if the armor's doing its job, if the coating's doing its job and absorbing that. Of course, if you hammer away at it all day with a rifle, you're going to eventually get all that plastic off of there, and then the ability to reduce that splash will be diminished. However, it's still a heck of a lot better than getting shot in the chest with a high-velocity rifle round. AR500 steel is very nice because it's a very cost-effective way to really stop pretty much any kind of small arms fire in a very effective way, short of like really, really heavy stuff. But it's going to mitigate those threats, and it's going to reduce the lethality of it. It's going to basically, your bullet's going to shatter on impact. It might get a little bit of distortion at very close range with hard ammo on real high-powered rifles, but it's going to save your life. And for an emergency backup option, the RTS offers both the plates and the carrier in a very, very affordable option that you see here. There's not a lot of extra stuff attached in this particular option. They do have more fancy stuff available, but if you're looking for something, in my opinion, I think it's very wise for every automobile to have enough of these in it to protect whoever might be riding in that car in case someday something happens, like having a fire extinguisher. If you got a family and you got your own armor system, you're going to want to protect your precious cargo and make sure that in an emergency, you can have backups that don't take up a lot of space, that are also affordable, and when you put it on them, you know that if they take a hit to the vitals, this is going to really protect them. It's available in different colors. Yeah, black and tan and other colors available, and it is semi-concealable. You can wear it underneath your shirt. And unless you really take a look, you might notice a little bit of hunchbacking in the back, but it's not obviously visible that you are wearing the system. If you're wearing it under a coat, it's quite easy to carry. It's not super heavy. I think it weighs right around 9 pounds, about like the old flak jacket. It's quite a bit lighter than the Interceptor kit. But for a guy who's looking for something that's actually affordable, that you can get for everybody, this is the one. I know a lot of guys like to get the Tier 1 equipment, and that's something that we look forward to reviewing here on the channel as well. And for professionals who operate every day, have to wear this stuff all the time, and run and move and climb mountains with it and carry all kinds of other equipment, and also needs the system to be modular in terms of being able to attach peripheral equipment to it and use it on a day-to-day basis, they're going to want to use something maybe more advanced than this, obviously. But for someone who's looking for that base layer of ballistic protection without breaking the bank, this is the way to go. And if you really think about it, some of those other systems are great, but they're very expensive. And if you only have one and there's like 3 or 4 of you in the family, that's not going to cut it. They're the precious cargo you're trying to get out of there. And so you need to have something for everybody. This is a really good way to get to that point without breaking the bank. For the cost of one decent rifle, you can pretty much equip your entire family with body armor in the snap of a fingers. So check out the RTS tactical option if you are looking for something that's very cost effective. On the testing we did, you're going to notice that it actually fit a variety of different guys. I did pass this around to a lot of my friends, and they did a good job putting them through their paces, wearing them for a day or two, seeing how comfortable they are. And of course, it's going to vary on body type, on the level of comfort. I don't think it's designed to be worn on an entire rotation, day to day. But if it's something you need to throw on, it's definitely adjustable for all different body types. Some of my friends are real small guys. Some of them are real fit, in shape guys with big chests. And myself, I'm a extra large type dude. And so it fit on all of us. Now, I barely had for myself enough Velcro to get it strapped, but I did have enough to get it strapped. It does have the elastic sides, which allows a bit of movement so that you can breathe and move around and bend over and do your day-to-day activity. Those elastic sides, in my opinion, are a base minimum for any kind of ballistic armor system if you want to move around with it. And the shoulder straps are angled slightly for a guy who lifts a lot of weights. If you have a big neck with big trapezoids, it might cut into your neck a little bit like that. But again, this is meant kind of a one-size-fits-all deal. This will definitely fit on your family. You might have to do a little bit of modifications or jimmying with the straps if you have like a small kid or a person with a very small frame to wear this properly. You want to wear this up over the vital organs, not down over your stomach area. Although it would be horrible to get shot in the stomach, they're really designed to offer that cardiovascular protection system for your lungs and heart and all that kind of super critical stuff that you will instantly die if you get shot there. And so this is a very good system in terms of modularity. Fit a huge variety, my guys. I think that you should have several of these in the trunks of each of your vehicles if you're a responsible head of the house, and make sure that you have that just like you'd have your fire extinguisher or anything else. There's a whole plethora of situations that we can envision and a whole bunch more that we can't envision that could potentially happen at any time where someone might really want to have this. And in the spirit of Bert from the movie Tremors 2, those that need it and don't have it cry a much different tune than those who would ridicule someone for being overprepared. Of course, this is something that you hope to never have to need to use, but in all reality, if you look at the news nowadays, but especially if you're a student of history or even just aware of current events, you don't want to get stranded away from home someplace or away from your bug out location and not have the basic protection needed against adversaries or bad guys. Even if they're not shooting at you, there still might be a lot of lead in the air, and that's something you don't want to hit you or your family in the chest. That's going to be a bad deal. So this offers a good amount of protection. And of course, stay tuned, guys. We're going to show you some of the stuff that has been created to the top standards, spared no expense. Some of the cutting edge stuff that is fielded, some of that new technology that's truly cutting edge, and we're going to share that with you as well. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I'm not sure exactly what that's good for.
Yeah.
It's good for something, though.
That's good for staying low to the ground, I suppose, because you're a lot smaller target when you're laying on the ground.
Yeah, that's it. That's how this works.
You really thought you'd get away with it, big guy?
You got it. Alpha 9 or Tango 1-3, this is Pirate Lizard King.
Indexing hasty solution is 7.
What in the hell are you holding?
It's not
It's an MP49, it's a saw.
Target's got good cover. Look for danger space for a headshot at TRP-5.
Hi, Mom. It's me and my pals. Say hi, guys.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man.
You're shorter than I expected.
These are super.